Now, classification of fungi. In 1927, Guin, Vaughan, and Barnes, the two scientists, they divided fungi into four classes: Zygomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Fungi imperfecti or Deuteromycetes. Eumycota. These are fungi having four classes, and which are being discussed now. Zygomycetes, they are saprophytic or parasitic. Thallus may be well formed, aseptate or septate, with aseptate or septate mycelia, but no fruit body is formed. Sexual reproduction mainly through the fusion of two gametangia, and no zoospore is found in their life cycle. Example, mucor, rhizopas, etc. Then Ascomycetes. Example, Ascobolus, penicillium. They have a sporangium inside which ascospores are produced, and within this sporangium, karyogamy and meiosis are the forms of divisions through which spores are produced. Basidiomycetes, they have a special type of body form that is called basidium, from which basidiospores are produced through karyogamy and meiotic divisions. Then Deuteromycetes, the thallus formed to the mycelium is the vegetative body. The multiple mycelia, branched mycelia are multinucleated. Asexual reproduction is like that of Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes. There is no sexual reproduction, and as their life cycle is incomplete for absence of sexual reproduction, they are called fungi imperfecti. Example, Fugorium, Helminthosporium, etc. One more type of fungi, peculiar type of fungi, rather an association of alga and fungi, will be discussed now. They are called Lichen, and the scientists say that they are one of the primitive groups of plants. Theophrastus, who was a great botanist, he first described a lichen as a consortium of fungi and photosynthesizing alga. And in this association of algae and fungi, both are dependent on each other. Some describe this type of association as symbiotic association, but beginning scientist Swindenner, he discussed the dual nature of lichen, and presently the scientists have found almost 800 genera and 25,000 species of lichen, and the thallus of the algae remaining in the thallus of lichen is called photobiont, and the fungi that remain in the lichen, that is called mycobiont. In this association, the algae synthesizes food in the process of photosynthesis and gives it to the fungi, and in return the fungi supplies water and other organic or inorganic substances to the algae. But Crombeck in 1855 opined that the association of algae and fungi in a lichen is like an association of master and slave, because the algae produces the food and the fungi takes that food. Such type of association, where the producer is one and the other is consumer, such type of association is called halotism. So, what is the definition of lichen? Lichen is a perennial form of life where terrestrial fungi and terrestrial algae together form a vegetative thallus. That has a specific shape. I told you that the algae in a lichen is called phytobiont because it produces food with the help of sun rays, and the fungi is called mycobiont. And this type of commensalism, yes, commensalism is there. They are born in cold and well illuminated but damp atmosphere. They remain on the they remain as parasites on the bark of a tree or on the leaves, in the roofs, cornice, or on stones, etc. Their thallus may be of crustose, foliose, or fruticose, three types. And the thallus is sometimes spongy and soft, sometimes leathery and hard, and inside it there are organic acids for which their color is grey, black, green, yellow, brown, orange, etc. And the outer part of the lichen, that is called cortex, there remains the algae, and that layer is called gonidia layer. and the lower part of the cortex is formed with the hyphae of the fungi, which have root-like forms, that is called rhizine, that help in absorption of water. In a lichen, vegetative, asexual and sexual reproductions are found. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation, asexual reproduction by pycnospores, oidea or conidia formations, and sexual reproduction by ascospores, by the formation of ascospores, and therefrom some hyphae originate and come to the algal form. Lichen examples of lichen are Usnea barbata, Usnea florida, Paramelia. I am giving you a few figures so that you can understand it. On the basis of different characters such as the nature of thallus or other characters of lichen, they can be classified. One is Crosstals. This type of lichen is born on stones, on the thick bark of trees, and they form a very thin layer. Sometimes they may remain inside the bark. Example is Graphis, Rhizocarpon, Licanara, etc. And the folios, they look like leaves spread horizontally. From the thallus, rhizoids are formed in the basal part, with which they act as holdfast, with which they strongly remain attached with the substratum. Parmelia, Physalia are its example. Then fruticose type, they are tubular, branched tubular, or like a filament. Usnea, Ramalia, these are the examples. And on the basis of salient features or on the basis of fungal associates, they are also classified as ascolichen. Chlorophyceae algae belonging to the family Chlorophyceae or Cyanophyceae, when get associated with the Ascomycetes fungi, they are called ascolichen. Lichens we find in the earth. 98% of the ascens we find in the earth is ascolichen, and the algae, Chlorophyceae algae include Protococcus, Cladophora, Trentifolia, etc. এগুলো মুখস্থ করা ছাড়া উপায় নেই, কারণ সবের ছবি পাবে না, কিন্তু পরীক্ষার প্রয়োজনে মুখস্থ করতে হবে। Then Basidiolichen, they belong to the Cyanophyceae algae, and Basidiolichen association of fungi with Cyanophyceae algae is called Basidiolichen. Chlorococcus, Cytonema, etc. Algae like Chlorococcus, Cytonema, etc. are their partners. They are very rarely found. They have just 3 genera: Chlorella, Cora, and Dictyonema. And you have to know the importance of lichen as a food. Lichen is a lichen has a very good role to play as fodder and as a food of human beings in Libya. Licanora esculent, a lichen that is given to the sheep as a fodder with grass. In the Siberian tundra, a lichen is found, that is Cladonia rangifarina, that is a food of some kinds of deer and other grazing animals. Hence it is called reindeer moss. In South India, some forms of Parmenia lichen are used to produce human dishes. Curry is produced. Some call them rock flower. There is another lichen, Cetraria ileaudica, which are called island moss in English. They are dried and crushed like flour and mixed with flour for human consumption. In Egypt, lichen is also used as food, and Evernia furfuracea, Roxella montigoni. These are some lichens which are used to which are used in industries for different purposes. Colors are produced from these lichens. Litmus color to color wools and silk. Razella lichen is used. Besides Lecanora lichen, Lecanora sculenta, we get calcium oxalate from Lecanora sculenta. Some medicines are also produced from lichen. Peltigera canina is another lichen from which the primitive people produced medicine to treat hydrophobia, and therefore it is called dog lichen. There is another lichen, lungwort. It is used to treat different diseases of the lung. This scientific name of the lichen is Lobaria pulmonaria. Usnic acid that is found in Usnea lichen is used to cure tuberculosis. And Lobaria pulmonaria is also used to tan in the tanneries, to tan the leathers in the tanneries. And their ecological importance, lichens primarily are born on stones, on the and they exude some substances, produces some acids which help in the withering of the large stones to form soil, and as lichens grow only in pollution free environment, uh, not in any polluted environment. If there is pollution, the lichens die. So lichens can be used as an indicator of air pollution. This is much about lichen. I am giving you some figures of different lichen and different fungi.